Hello everyone, and let's get started. So we continue talking about conditions in Java. So in the last video we talked about if, so how we can execute a piece of our code depending on some condition. So if you haven't seen that video yet or you forgot something, so the link should appear on the top right corner. So I recommend to watch it once again. But today we continue talking about if, and today we'll talk about multiple conditions. So in the last video, as a reminder, we talked about evaluation of a condition, a Boolean condition, and we executed a piece of code if that condition is true, and if it's false, we executed something else. So today we'll talk about how we can extend that. So and compare that condition to multiple variables, values, and so on. So, for example, let's continue. So A was -2, and we evaluated it against 1. So if it's greater or not. But what to do if, for example, okay, I compared it to 1, so it's false, for example. Then I would like to compare the same variable, let's say to 0. So how I can do that? So I don't want to proceed straight to false condition, which we define in else, but I want before that to compare A to some other possible values. So in that case, we should use a else if construction, so which is defined as follows. Else if, and here we define a new condition which we will evaluate against. So for example, A is greater than 0. And if it's true, I want this code to be executed, right? Okay. Okay, evaluates to false. Okay, so the order is as follows. So first we compare this one, if it's true or false. If true, we execute what is written here and exit. If it's false, we proceed to the next comparison. So we evaluate now whether A is greater than 0. If yes, if true, so we execute this piece of code. If not, so if it's false, then we proceed to the next comparison or to else. Or if there is no else, so else is optional once again, then we just exit, right? And we can define as much else if as we want. For example, A is greater than -2, for example. Greater than -2. Let's take it -3 just to show you how that works. A is greater than -3, so this is executed now. So we evaluated this expression, it's false. We proceeded to the next one, evaluated this, it's also false. Then we proceed to this one, it's true. So we execute what is written here. And of course, in the next else if, it's not mandatory to use the same variable like here, right? So I can define another one. Let's say b equals to 1, and in the next else if I can compare it to something else. So for example, whether b is smaller than 10, for example. So it's not said that in all if else blocks I should use the same variable, right? So I can use b. And what you should remember is that the first match, so as soon as we get true, we execute the code which is under if, and we exit that else if condition chain, right? So it's not meant like this. For example, b is greater than -10. Okay, save, execute. Okay, so as you see, so B is 1. Yeah, so that means, okay, let's be it so. Yeah, so B is 1. It means that B, let it be like this. Yeah, so it means that B is greater than minus 10. So that's true, right? But still, we don't see that. Why? Because the previous else if, where A is compared to B greater than minus 3, is true. So we executed that code and we exited from else if chain. Yeah, so that's what you should keep in mind, right? And another thing I would like to show to you is that we can use multiple Boolean expressions in the same if condition, right? So for example, we can use this one in the same else if. And we should do that as follows. We can paste another one. And so we have now multiple conditions to be met, and we somehow need to show the relation between these two conditions. So it could be done by using logical operators like AND, like this one, it's AND. So meaning that the whole expression is true, then both this one, A is greater than minus 3 and B is greater than minus 10, they are both true. Yeah, so AND, so this condition is true. Yeah, let's execute it. Okay, as you see, we have this code because both this condition and this are true, right? So if, for example, I do like this, so B is less than minus 10, which obviously is false, then this is true. Yeah, this is true, this is false. And as we have AND operator, logical operator here, so false and true equals to false. Yeah, so that's why this code is not executed, and we evaluate the next expression, which shows to be true, right? Um, Also, besides and, we can use or. Yeah, in Java, we use this notation, meaning that either this or this should be true, at least, yeah, to the whole expression to be true. Yeah, let's execute it and see. Yeah, okay, now you see that this expression has been executed because this evaluates to true, this evaluates to false, and we have or. So true or false equals to true, right? So that's why we execute this code. Okay, and the last one I would like to show you is not, right? So it allows us this notation considered to be not, and it flip-flops the value. So for example, if this evaluates to true using not, it will be converted to false will be converted to true, and true will be converted to false, right? So for example, in our case, so B is less than minus 10, it's false because B is 1, so this is false. And since we are using not, false will be turned to be true. Let's see. Yeah, as you see, we execute this code despite the fact that this evaluates to false. But since we are using not operator, so false will be converted to true, right? Okay, so that's basically all for today. What I would like to discuss with you related to if condition. So now I consider you to be if else expert. Still, if you have some questions or something is not clear, so just please ask in the comments. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel for some reasons, that's the right time to do that. Also, if you liked that video, you can press like under the video. And in the next lecture, we are going to talk about switch operator, which is quite similar to if-else if, yeah, but there are some special use cases where switch is better than if to be used, right? And also another small announcement. So starting from the next week, we'll start a new playlist related to cloud technologies. Yeah, we'll start talking about Amazon Web Services, AWS Cloud. So we'll talk in details what is it, which services we have there, how we can use them, what is the architecture, and so on. Yeah, so please stay tuned and see you next time. Thanks to all. Bye bye.